You know that old saying, keep your friends close and your enemies closer? We've all heard it, right? Sounds so clever. Well, I'm here to tell you it's probably the single worst piece of advice in the history of human conflict. Why? Because it completely misses the point. The real threat, the one that actually takes you down, it never comes from the enemy you have your eyes on.
And this really breaks it down, doesn't it? I mean, think about it. With an enemy, your guard is up, your shield is raised, you're expecting a fight. But a friend? Oh, they're already past the guards, inside the castle walls. They're in the throne room with you. You gave them the key yourself. They know every secret passage because you're the one who showed them.
So what we're talking about here isn't some spur-of-the-moment act of rage. No. This is a calculated psychological campaign. It's an art form, really. The art of the slow betrayal. And it has a name.
The Iago Effect. Just listen to these words. Orchestrates, covert manipulation, psychological warfare. This isn't a simple fight or a misunderstanding. This is a strategy, a full-blown campaign. The person doing this becomes the architect of your downfall, and the whole time, they're smiling to your face, telling you they've got your back.
Okay, so the big question is, why are we such suckers for this? How do we fall for it time and time again? Well, the answer is actually wired right into our biology. The very thing that lets us build families and societies, our ability to trust, is also our greatest vulnerability. It can be turned into a weapon and aimed right at us. Let me introduce you to the main culprit here, oxytocin. You've probably heard of it as the cuddle hormone or the bonding chemical. It's what floods your brain when you feel close to someone, making you feel safe and lowering your stress. It's amazing for building relationships. But here's the dark side. In the hands of a manipulator, it's like a drug. It literally flips a switch in your brain and turns off your internal alarm system. You're left totally defenseless. So let's be crystal clear about this. Trust isn't just a feeling. It's a biological state. It triggers a chemical reaction that literally, and I mean literally, blinds you. It puts a filter on your reality. You see the red flags, but your brain, soaked in oxytocin, just tells you, nah, it's fine. We're safe here.
And the really clever manipulators, the Machiavellians, they know this. They've got a playbook. They use techniques like mirroring, where they copy your body language and the way you talk to make you feel like you've known them forever. Then there's love bombing. They just overwhelm you with praise and affection to get that oxytocin flowing fast. What they're doing is, well, they're hacking your brain, plain and simple.
And if you're sitting there thinking, well, that wouldn't happen to me, or that's only for regular people, think again. Let's talk about maybe the most famous betrayal of all time. We're talking about Julius Caesar, a military genius, a man who conquered nations. How could a guy like that be so blind to the man standing right next to him?
So let's treat this like a cold case. We're going to open up the case file. The people versus Brutus. This isn't a history lesson. This is a psychological autopsy. We're going to see exactly how he did it.
Look at this timeline. This wasn't something that just happened. It was a process. Months before the assassination, Brutus started to pull away. That's the withdrawal. Then, weeks before, he starts gathering allies, poisoning them against Caesar. That's triangulation. And on the day itself, Caesar gets a warning note and ignores it. Why? Normalcy bias. It's that dangerous little voice in your head that says, well, he's never stabbed me before, so he probably won't do it today. And what's so wild is how modern these tactics are. Seriously, first, the withdrawal. He pulls away emotionally so he is mentally ready for the kill. When Caesar, being a friend, asks what's wrong, Brutus starts gaslighting him. Oh, it's just some personal stuff. He makes Caesar feel guilty for even asking. And the deadliest move of all? Triangulation. He's turning Caesar's friends into enemies, one by one, all while smiling and playing the loyal friend.
Et tu, Brutus? You too, Brutus? I mean, these are probably the most famous last words in history. And they're not just about surprise. The story goes that when Caesar saw it was Brutus among the assassins, he just gave up. He stopped fighting. That tells you everything you need to know. The psychological wound of that betrayal hurt more than any of the daggers.
Okay, so Caesar's tragedy is a brutal lesson, but it's one we can learn from. His downfall can actually be your defense. So the real question is, how do you spot the Brutus in your life before the knife comes out? You need a protocol, a personal security detail for your mind.
All right, here's your first tool, and it is incredibly powerful. It's called the good news test. Look, anybody can feel sorry for you when you're down. Pity is easy. The real test of a friend is how they react to your success. So next time something great happens to you, tell them. And watch their eyes in that first split second. A true friend's face will light up instantly, but a fake friend, you'll see it. A flicker of something else. Dead eyes. Envy. Then the forced smile comes a second later. The eyes don't lie.
So let's put it all together. Your 3 rules to identify a Brutus. Number 1, judge their reaction to your success. Use that good news test. It's a truth theorem. Number 2, audit the gossip. Just listen to how they talk about other people when they're not around. Because I promise you, that is exactly how they talk about you when you're not around. And number 3, use the no test. Tell them no about something. A real friend will respect it. A betrayer, a manipulator, they'll see it as a challenge. They'll push, they'll guilt you. Their reaction to that one little word tells you everything.
So, what's the verdict here? It's simple, really. Don't be Caesar. His story isn't just a story, it's a warning. It's a 2,000-year-old lesson, written in blood, about what happens when you trust blindly. And look, this is a fine line to walk. The point is not to become paranoid. Paranoia is a disease. But you know what? Blindness is fatal. This is about vigilance. It's about consciously taking off that warm, fuzzy blindfold that oxytocin puts on you and seeing people for who they actually are, not just who you hope they are. So let's boil this all down. Your final takeaways. Remember this. 1. Your success, your status, it won't protect you. In fact, it often makes you a bigger target. 2. For some people, loyalty is just a math problem, and when their envy of you becomes greater than their loyalty to you, they are going to strike. It's inevitable. And finally, and this is the most important one, when you see the red flags, you have to act. Don't hesitate. Hesitation is an invitation for them to move forward. Now, we've been talking a lot about friends, about allies. But what happens when the Brutus in your life isn't a friend? What happens when it's your own parent? The one person biologically programmed to protect you is the one holding the knife. Now that's a whole other level of betrayal.